Identifying and dealing with ghosts in Phasmophobia is pretty tough, so we made this video to help you become a pro at busting those ghosts. And with these tips and tricks, whether you're playing solo or working in a team, we'll have you hunting ghosts better than ever before, using tips that took us from noobs to professionals really quickly. Now the first ghost on our list is the spirit. Spirits can be identified with fingerprints, a spirit box response, and ghostwriting. Spirits are the most common type of ghost you will encounter in Phasmophobia, but you may be wondering, how can I distinguish them from other ghosts? Spirits have no special powers or indeed defining traits, except for a heightened sensitivity to smudge sticks. The lack of defining characteristics can make spotting a spirit very difficult for beginner investigators. Now, if you're unsure, wait for the spirit to start hunting and then use a smudge stick. If you have 120 seconds of relief rather than the usual 90 seconds, then you're probably dealing with a spirit. Be warned though, as this is a high risk strategy, especially as spirits will increase their hunting as your sanity drops. And though the spirit can be aggressive, it's nowhere near as aggressive as the next ghost on our list. And that's the Wraith. With the ability to fly and see through doors, closets, and lockers, Wraiths are both sneaky and great at finding your hiding places. But how can you detect and beat them? Wraiths are identified by fingerprints, freezing temperatures, and spirit box response. Wraiths can fly, so often you won't hear footsteps, and sounds are generally very rare. Despite their flying abilities though, Wraiths can still be affected by salt. If you place some salt in a doorway, a Wraith will hover over it, leaving no footprints, but it will leave a handprint on the doorframe, and that can be visible with a UV light. Most strategies deal with trying to escape from the Wraith once it started hunting. When the Wraith starts to hunt, it will teleport within meters of a random player. Closing doors and hiding in closets won't help you during a hunt, as the Wraith can see through those barriers. However, they cannot see through solid walls, so if you can break line of sight from a Wraith, then hiding may actually work. Placing down salt on your escape path once the Wraith starts to hunt should break its attack, and buy you some time to escape. Beware though that while the salt can stop the Wraith attacking, it will also permanently increase activity levels, so use this wisely. While these strategies may not ensure your escape, they can certainly help level the playing field. The next ghost on our list is the Phantom. Phantoms can be recognized by an EMF reading of level 5, ghost orbs, and freezing temperatures. Phantoms pose one massive threat to players. If you look at a Phantom's physical form, it will considerably drop your sanity. However, you have a weapon that can be used to disrupt the attempt. Taking a photo of a Phantom will make it temporarily disappear. While this won't stop the hunt, it will stop you losing sanity and give you some time to regroup. It is unknown if the following is an intentional gameplay mechanic, merely a bug, or a result of some players data mining the game files, but early game reports in October suggested that Phantoms could imitate team members, causing massive sanity loss.
Oh! What is this? It's me! It's me!
While we're not sure if this is still part of the game, if you spot a team member without gear moving in a very odd fashion, then you should probably run. But as bad as Phantoms may be, they're pale next to the poltergeist. Now, a poltergeist can be identified with spirit box, fingerprints, and ghost orbs. Poltergeists are sort of known as the hooligans of Phasmophobia. They're capable of influencing and moving multiple objects, and with more force than any other ghost. And then it gets worse. When a poltergeist uses its power, not only will it throw all nearby items, but if a player is nearby, it will decrease their sanity by 2 times the number of items thrown. In fact, the poltergeist's ability is so strong that it can even affect you if you're not in the same room. So if you find yourself losing sanity from hearing noises, it's more likely that you're dealing with a poltergeist. Here's a top tip. The poltergeist is the sole ghost that can be identified with only 2 pieces of evidence, ghost orbs and fingerprints. Meaning if you find these 2 bits of evidence, you can be certain that you're dealing with a polter. A poltergeist's ability to manipulate doors can make it easier to identify. However, if the ghost is one that specifically affects light fixtures and other electronics at the same time, it's more likely to be a djinn, but we'll go into more detail about that later. In terms of strategy, poltergeists have the ability to roam far and wide, so they can leave a lot of red herrings for investigators. Don't get too attached to any one area when initially trying to find the ghost room. If there are no items nearby, a poltergeist will not be able to use its power, so identify an empty room early on, as this will be the best place to hide if a hunt starts. While poltergeists are dangerous and should be handled carefully, the next ghost demands far more caution, and that's the Banshee, a natural hunter that will attack anything. A Banshee is a ghost that seems to ignore many of the rules the other ghosts follow, making it significantly more dangerous unless you know its secrets. Banshees can be identified by an EMF reading of level 5, fingerprints, and freezing temperatures. Unlike other ghosts, Banshees will hunt their targets one at a time and will keep attacking until they have killed their target. Banshees usually ignore sanity and typical hunting rules, meaning that a hunt can be triggered immediately on entering location on higher difficulties. A hunt starting while the players are still on high sanity should be an immediate clue that they are potentially dealing with a Banshee. Once a Banshee uses its power, it will begin to navigate to its chosen target. Hiding or throwing up line of sight barriers will have no effect on the Banshee's ability to find its target. Once the Banshee finds its target, they have 20 seconds to run away before things get much worse. When it comes down to strategy, while a Banshee is a relentless hunter, its focus on one target at a time gives players a way to defeat it. By determining which team member is the target early on and sending them to a far part of the location, other team members can buy themselves some time to complete their tasks. The player who is sent off should go to a room with an easily reached hiding place and should be equipped with a crucifix, as this has an increased range of effect on Banshees. A crucifix against the Banshee will give you 5 meters area of effect rather than the usual 3 meters, meaning you can get better coverage in a room. Here's a really important fact. If the Banshee's target leaves the building or dies, the Banshee will find another target, so the rest of the team can't relax too much, even if they're not being hunted. And if the idea of hunting in the dark already fills you with terror, you're going to hate the next ghost, the Jinn. Jinns can be identified by spirit boxes, ghost orbs, and EMF level 5. Jinns are a territorial ghost that will attack when threatened, and are often triggered by players in the ghost room. Jinns can often be identified by the level with which they interact with electronics. Phones, TVs, and radios can all be affected by Jinns. Unlike mares, which are next, Jinns will turn lights on as well as off, offering investigators a significant clue. Jinns can travel at significant speed during hunts, and distance is much less of a factor to these ghosts. However, the Jinn has one important weakness. Turning off a location's power source will remove the Jinn's ability to fast travel. This does, however, leave the players in the dark, thus lowering sanity and increasing the likelihood of attacks, so it's a risk you have to calculate yourself. Though if you're brave enough to try this, let us know in the comments below. The next ghost on our list is the mare. The mares can be identified by ghost orbs, spirit boxes, and freezing temperatures. The mare is the source of all nightmares and loves to hunt in the dark. Mares can be massively aggressive and are able to initiate hunts on low sanity players very quickly. Mares will regularly turn the lights off and trip the fuse box to increase their power and chance to attack. Dealing with mares as a team is much easier as the strategy revolves around keeping the location as well lit as possible. Try to keep the lights on in areas such as the front door and hallways as often as possible, even using candles if necessary. Most importantly, you should keep the lights on in the mare's ghost room, as this significantly lowers its chance to hunt. Mares can still hunt with the lights on, but will be much less aggressive. A top tip for bigger maps such as the high school, asylum, and prison is to consider keeping an investigator next to the fuse box, as this will reduce the time spent traveling between the ghost room and the power breaker. While mares are aggressive, our next ghost type is even more of a handful, and that's the Revenant. Revenants can be identified by EMF level 5, fingerprints, and ghostwriting. Revenants are slow, but they're very violent ghosts that will attack players indiscriminately. They also have the ability to switch targets freely during a hunt, to allow them to do as much damage as possible. This makes the Revenant unpredictable and dangerous for your team to be clustered. Due to its violent, aggressive nature, the only real tactic with a Revenant is to hide. Revenants are very fast when hunting, so rather than running away, your best bet is to hide, as this significantly slows them down. If you are caught in the open, however, try to use a smudge stick to give you a few vital seconds for hiding. Let us know in the comments below if this has worked for you, or if you have any other strategies for dealing with Revenants. The next ghost on our list is the Shade. Shades can be identified by ghostwriting, EMF level 5, and ghost orbs. Shades are known as the shy ghosts of Phasmophobia. However, this will not stop them hunting when your sanity is low. Because of their shyness, Shades are often difficult to detect when working in a team. So if you're having trouble detecting any activity, consider splitting up. However, when you do split up, make sure your team members have some method of defense if a hunt occurs, such as smudge sticks, salt, or a crucifix. The Shade is a dangerous ghost, but our next entry is regarded as the most dangerous of all ghost types, and that's the Demon. Demons can be identified by spirit box, ghost writing, and freezing temperatures. A demon is one of the worst ghosts you can encounter, as it has been known to attack without reason. Demons will usually hunt more than any other ghost, and usually without warning. Though they make your usual investigation methods a bit more difficult, a demon will also allow ghost hunters to use the Ouija board without reducing their sanity if a question is answered successfully, allowing for important clues to be found while keeping your sanity safe. If the investigation and objectives are not dealt with quickly, demons can grow to become the most challenging ghost. They are notorious for initiating hunts frequently, and this is only made worse by lower sanity levels. In higher difficulties like Professional, hunts last much longer. Demons at their most aggressive will hunt in intervals as short as half minutes, forcing the players to spend more total time hiding than investigating. It's important that you move as quickly as possible in gathering evidence, and bring sanity pills, crucifixes, salt, and any other defensive equipment to keep demons from reaching their full aggression. With all this in mind, beware that the Ouija board only has a 30% chance of spawning on a map. Next up, we have the Yurei, a ghost that has returned to the physical world usually for the purpose of revenge or hatred. Yureis can be identified by ghost orbs, ghost writing, and freezing temperatures. Although it doesn't have any specific bonuses to its ability in hunting, its main distinction is its constant attack on the player's sanity. If you're careless with your sanity, it will become aggressive very quickly. However, using smudge sticks on the Yurei's ghost room will cause it not to wander around the location for 90 seconds. The Yurei's passive sanity drain, though something to keep an eye on, is not particularly debilitating, so long as players remain in the light and are often conservative with their sanity. However, the sanity drain is believed to increase in intermediate and professional playthroughs, so be sure to keep track and use sanity pills where necessary, as you don't want to trigger frequent hunts. And last but not least on our list of ghosts is the Oni. Onis can be identified by EMF level 5, ghost writing, and a spirit box. The Oni is similar to the Demon, and therefore much more active and aggressive when players are grouped together, with a higher chance to initiate hunts. This can make players confuse it with a demon if they continue to remain close together the entire mission. However, the Oni's power also works against it, since it's one of the most active ghosts in the game and will give up evidence more clearly to a group of investigators. This can make for a swift and lucrative investigation. Splitting up is usually the best method of defense when searching for an Oni, as it's much less active while players are alone, though this can be a bit risky, especially if the ghost turns out to actually be a banshee. The Oni is also described as being extremely strong, and it will throw objects around the room with great force when interacting with them. But these objects are not dangerous to the player or their sanity, unlike those thrown by poltergeists. The Oni's power of being more active when players are around can be misleading on larger maps such as Brownstone High School and Asylum, as it will often wander around to players and cause interactions far away from its ghost room, creating red herrings. So be sure to double check for activities so that an Oni is not leading players away from the location of its ghost room. That's all for this video. We really hope you found it useful, and if you did, make sure to send it over to your Phasmophobia squad. Hopefully we can help you guys reach that professional difficulty level, and let us know if any of these techniques helped you out. If you found use in this video, remember to smash that like and subscribe button. Also, if you hit that bell icon, apparently it keeps away those nasty ghosts by notifying you of when our new uploads come out. Till next time.